ESC Today.
Okay, hello, good afternoon. This is Sanjay for ESC Today at the Austrian Ambassador's reception with the 2014 Eurovision representative, Conchita. How are you, Conchita?
I'm so fine. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, it's an honor for me and I feel really privileged to be here. Conchita, or shall I say Tom Neuwirth, how do you pronounce it?
Well, it's easier with a camera because on radio it doesn't really come along that well. I always say what you see is what you get. And so for now it would be Conchita and would be she, and yes, I'm going to the ladies' bathroom.
Okay, cool. When and how did you decide to adapt a new persona and create Conchita? And what is the story behind Conchita Wurst? What does she represent and who and what do you stand for?
Well, you know, this was a very, very long process, so there was not a date or something like that when I decided to be the Spirit Queen. You know, I've been doing drag for, I don't know, since I'm 14 or something, you know, but not in a regular way, just, you know, on special occasions and events. And I always say that, like Tom, also Conchita had to grow up, and she also went through different looks, you know, blonde, long, short, with beard, without beard. And in 2010 it was for me just, you know, ready for now. And I decided to wear the beard because I wanted to show everybody that your success or the happiness of your life is not depending on your look. You have to feel great about yourself and your life, and you have to feel comfortable. And if you work hard enough and if you're passionate enough, you can achieve anything you want. And that's the main thing, because I think the color of your skin, your sexuality, these are things, they are so unnecessary actually. And I'm just talking about, above it all, I'm just talking about human rights and that you got the freedom to be allowed to do what you want in case you're not hurting anyone. And so I don't think that I hurt anyone with my beard. Except of the man who kissed me, maybe.
What are the differences between Conchita and Tom? What are your similarities and how do you both differ?
Well, the big difference is that Tom, I think, is very lazy, and I'm not. He's more laid back, and I tend to be very, you know, excited and very, you know, and so these are the things that we learn from one each other. You know what I mean? And the similarity is that the passion is the same. The passion when I'm singing is the same as Tom and as Conchita. And so the most important things are coming from one, you know, they are from one heart. But of course there are two personalities.
Well, recently you stated that you are a hard-working woman and a lazy man in your free time. Given the fact that you have released so far only 3 songs and worked on several TV shows, okay? Could you please let us know what this busy means? Are you involved in any kind of activism or charity that people are unaware of?
Well, you know, I always, beside all this public work I do, you know, interviews, and of course with the song contest, it's just beyond. I'm always working on my character, I'm always working on my music, I'm always working on new, you know, I have a fashion background, I'm always working with my team on new styles and new ideas, because I really want to do in the future everything I want. You know, I just take everything I need for myself, and this includes making more music, doing also fashion, and there's just so many different things I want to try out. So beside all the things you see on the surface, me and my team, we are working very, very hard to make this a huge success.
You tried to represent Austria in 2011 and you took part in the national final, you came second. Has it always been your ultimate dream to represent Austria at the Eurovision? Were you disappointed back then because you were a second runner-up?
No, I wasn't disappointed because I work like that, believing in things, they should happen like they happen, you know. And when I'm here now, I think that I'm just even better prepared now, you know what I mean? So for 2012, it was totally fine for me. I got a great voice. I did a good job on stage, and you know, and the guys were just better than me this time. So you have to take that, and that's totally fine with me. And I wanted to be at the Eurovision stage for as long as I can remember. You know, I think the first Eurovision Song Contest I really, really remember and recognized is when I turned 11 or something like that. And I always wanted to be on this stage. And yesterday I had my first rehearsal, and I didn't know that actually it's, how can I say, it's closer to me than I thought it is. You know what I mean? I stood on the stage, and I had a little break between the first and the second take. And I stood there and I said to myself, well, now finally you're here. And I really had to fight my tears because I got so emotional, and it's so overwhelming to get this big, big chance, you know. And yeah, this is so far the biggest milestone in my career, and I will give everything I have.
You're going to represent Austria in 2014 at the Eurovision Song Contest. How did you decide to go for this year to represent Austria? Did ORF come to you? Did you send a proposal? Tell us a story about it. What was the background? How did you come about?
In 2012, I finished second, and my agent knew that I want to be on this stage very bad, and so he wrote the concept and handed them to the ORF. And after half year of discussing, having meetings, talking about it, they decided to pick me. So we just showed them that we really want to do it and that we are passionate about it. And we started to work immediately after the announcing.
Okay, and what about your song? How did you actually choose "Rising Like a Phoenix"? Were there any other songs in the final deliberation?
The song pool?
Yes.
Yeah. Till I received songs from September to January, and in the middle of January we decided now we have to make a decision. You know, we have to start producing it and do something. And of course there were some songs in our top 5, in our personal top 5, and we also had songs written by my team, you know, and actually almost finished, you know. And then I got an email from my agent, and he said, well, there are 5 more songs. And I have to be honest, I thought, well, I don't really need to listen to them because I already made my decision. And I said, well, give it a try, you never know. Yeah. And then I heard Rise Like a Phoenix, and it just, I was sitting in front of my computer, and I thought, well, now everybody's gonna hate me because I grabbed the phone and I told my agent, we have to start it over again because this is the song. And they weren't mad about me, but, you know, also not very happy. But I really, you know, I thought to myself, you got this chance maybe one more, just one time in your life. You better sing the song from your heart. Okay. And that's why I took this one.
Was this song actually tailor-made for Eurovision?
No.
It wasn't?
No, I'm so lucky, and this was what I want to say, that I'm really, you know, I love this James Bond theme, and I love the message. But these two things together, this is just, I'm so lucky to receive that because it could have been a James Bond-esque song with I love you and you love me theme, you know, which is a nice theme, but not, you know, not for me. And so I'm beyond happy that I received this one.
So what's the story behind Rise Like a Phoenix? What message would you like to convey to the European audience at the Eurovision Song Contest in the coming week, okay? And what would you like to tell the people with your song?
Well, first of all, I think it is a situation or a message everybody can relate on. I think everybody had difficult times, struggles in your life, and you always managed to go through, to go on and grow out as a better person, even more brave and, you know, more to yourself maybe also. And this is really what I hope that the people get, because of course for me it got my very own meaning, and I transport my very own imagination in this song, and it is actually very, very close to my life story. It is this situation that nobody believes in you, and you say, well, you will see, because no one's gonna bring me down, and yeah, you're right.
Well, now talking about James Bond, okay, your song is very similar, or you can say it's got the feel and the essence of a 007 movie. Many have compared it to Skyfall or even Goldfinger. Did 007 James Bond somehow inspire you to actually go for this song, to opt for this song?
It doesn't inspire me because I didn't thought, if I'm honest, singing a James Bond song at the Eurovision Song Contest. It just happened. So, but I love Shirley Bassey, and I love this orchestra thing. You know, it's really my cup of tea, and I feel just so honored that everybody agreed on that, because, you know, they could have said, well, that's the worst choice you can make. So I'm happy that everybody is with me with this decision, and I always loved this James Bond music, especially. I have to be honest, I don't really like the movies because I think they're quite boring. But the songs always have been enormous. Yeah.
Okay, now on a more serious note, taking into account that there has been some kind of backlash and criticism against the role you enact as Conchita from countries that aren't so open when it comes to freedom, okay, of sexuality or lesbian, gay, bisexual or transgender rights. How do you react when an attack like this is made against your persona and what you stand for? How do you deal with this kind of criticism, abuse and discrimination?
Well, if it's just about me, I don't really care. I got a thick skin, say what you want. But the problem starts when it gets, you know, homophobic in general, racistic in general, and this is really something I just can't look away, because this is what I want to say, you know, this is what I believe, that we're in the 21st century and you have to live, you must have the opportunity to live your life in peace and freedom, you know, without getting discriminated. And this is everything I wanted to say. And it's just so unnecessary to talk about sexuality or even my look. It's just a beard. It's just a beard. And if I want to be a bearded lady, I'm allowed to do that.
Of course,
you know?
yeah.
And it's above it all, I really have to say to this particular petitions, thank you for your attention, because obviously you got enough time to put your energy into something you don't like. So I don't do that. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest fan of Miley Cyrus, but I won't tell her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is something I don't really get. Yeah.
Well, have you spoken to any of the other Austrian representatives, former Austrian representatives at the Eurovision Song Contest? Have they given you any advice about Eurovision?
Oh, not really advice. We were just talking about what's going to happen, and I talked to Nadine, because of course we know each other for forever, like, and I talked to her, and she just told me the stories, you know, what's gonna be like and what will happen and all the kind of stuff. So I think, so advice in general, they're quite good, but I think every artist has to find their own way of doing it. You know what I mean? Because just because it's right for me doesn't mean that it's right for the others. So we were just talking in general.
And let me ask you one more question. How are you living all this experience? Today we are here at the reception of the ambassador of Austria. Yesterday you had your first rehearsal. You're in Copenhagen. You're living your dream. You're coming to Eurovision. You're going to represent Austria. Is it as what you thought it would be, or is it different?
It's better.
It's better?
It's better, it's bigger, and actually I never want to go anywhere else. I want Eurovision Song Contest for the whole year, forever. I really, really enjoy it, and I appreciate that everybody is so nice, and I feel so welcome. Everything is so well prepared. You know, it's not just that the stage is unbelievable great. it's also, you know, all the people working on that, the staff, they are also passionate and so careful. And the backstage area is just, it looks like a hotel lobby. They really, really put an effort on making us feel comfortable. So I really appreciate that, and I don't take that for granted, you know. We are all very, very privileged to be here, and so I'm totally thankful, and it's beyond what my expectation was.
You have been touring around promoting a song in London, Amsterdam, and I think Riga, and you've also met a lot of the Eurovision representatives of this year. Do you have any favorite songs from this year's Eurovision?
Of course I do. And I know who's gonna get the rain on stage.
Spain!
Of course. I love the song. I have to be honest, there were some songs I didn't really, I thought, well, quite good. And then I met them, and then I fell in love with the personality, and after that I loved the song. It was different with Ruth. I loved the song before I even met her, because I knew from the first time I saw her, she's fabulous. And we met, and we immediately fell in love with each other, and she's just funny, intelligent, beautiful, and I just go for Spain, really I do. And beside that, I also love Susie from Portugal. We actually the three divas, and we're joking around all the time, so it's really behind the scenes also great fun.
Well, I would like to thank you for the interview. Thank you very much. Do you read ESC Today?
Yes, I do, because you're on Twitter, you're aware, yes. I got all the tweets, so I always jump in and read.
Okay, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Everywhere. Me too, actually.
I would like to ask you, would you like to give a message to our readers at ESC Today? And could you please sing a little bit of your song for our readers? Just a little bit.
Of course I could do that. First of all, I have to say, ESC Today readers, thank you for your support. And I really appreciate that you're interested in me and that we can work with each other. Well, yeah, and my song is called Rise Like a Phoenix, and I can sing a bit for you. Although that I think it's quite a bit boring without the orchestra, but I try. Rise like a phoenix, out of the ashes seeking rather than vengeance. Retribution, you were warned. Once I'm transformed, once I'm reborn, I will rise like a phoenix. Much you're mine.
ESC Today.